Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most compelling and often debated questions of our time. What's the fundamental difference between artificial intelligence and consciousness? It's a topic that sits at the intersection of cutting-edge technology, profound philosophy, and the deepest mysteries of the human mind. To help us navigate this complex landscape, we'll be hearing from two brilliant minds, Dr. Earl Campbell, a leading AI researcher, and Dr. Teresa Hatfield, a distinguished cognitive neuroscientist. First, let's get our definition straight. What exactly is artificial intelligence? At its core, AI is the creation of machines or software that can perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence. This includes things like learning from data, solving complex problems, making decisions, and understanding human language. But how does this work on a technical level? One of the most powerful tools in modern AI is the neural network. You can think of a neural network as a vast, interconnected web of artificial neurons, much like the billions of neurons in our own brains. These neurons are organized into layers with an input layer, one or more hidden layers, and an output layer. Each connection between these neurons has a numerical value called a weight. This weight determines the strength of the connection and how much influence one neuron's output has on the next. The neuron itself takes all of its inputs, multiplies each by its corresponding weight, and then adds a single number known as a bias. This bias is a crucial element that allows the model to shift the outcome of a calculation, giving it more flexibility to fit the data. The neuron then processes this combined value through an activation function to produce its output, which is then fed into the next layer of neurons. During a process called training, the AI model is fed massive amounts of data. Let's say we're training it to recognize a cat in a photo. The model will make an initial guess, and if it's wrong, it will adjust all of those weights and biases in tiny increments to get a little closer to the right answer. This process is repeated thousands, even millions of times until the model becomes incredibly accurate at identifying cats. It's a system that learns from examples to perform a specific task, but without any genuine understanding or subjective experience. It's a sophisticated pattern-matching machine, nothing more. Now, let's talk about consciousness. This is where things get truly mysterious and philosophical. Our expert, Dr. Teresa J. Hatfield, a cognitive neuroscientist, joins us to shed some light on this.
Consciousness is the subjective experience of being, the inner world of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It's what makes you, you. Scientists can describe parts of it, but no one can fully explain why we feel like someone is home inside our minds. The dictionary definition of consciousness is the state of being aware of and able to think about one's own existence, thoughts, and surroundings. It's not just processing information, it's experiencing it. Think about the smell of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the joy of hearing your favorite song. AI can measure temperature, recognize rain, and analyze music, but it will never feel them. The challenge is that our scientific tools are built to measure objective, external phenomena. We can observe brain activity, but we can't measure the feeling of seeing the color red or the joy of a good joke. This qualitative aspect of consciousness, often called qualia, is what distinguishes our inner world from a machine's data processing. Consciousness is widely believed to be an emergent property of the complex interactions of billions of neurons, not something that exists at the atomic level. At the level of a single atom or molecule, there is no evidence of a subjective experience. At the atomic level, your brain is just a soup of particles, protons, electrons, neutrons. Physics can explain the chemical reactions and electrical signals in neurons. It is only when these components are organized into the incredibly intricate structure of a brain that this phenomenon of awareness seems to arise. Nowhere in any explanation is there a line that says, "This is where the feeling of being alive begins."
This distinction between AI's algorithmic processing and consciousness's subjective experience is profound. AI operates on algorithms and data, while consciousness involves a deeply personal inner world that we don't even fully understand. An AI can win a game of chess, but it doesn't feel the thrill of victory or the satisfaction of a clever move. It's a masterful simulation of intelligence, not a genuine instance of it. This leads us to a crucial point about feelings and rights. Since AI does not possess consciousness, it cannot have feelings, nor can it be hurt in the way a conscious being can. It doesn't have an emotional state that can be damaged. It can mimic empathy. It can say, "I'm sorry you're sad," but there's no sadness inside the machine. Therefore, the concept of granting AI rights is currently a non-starter. You can't be punished for hurting an AI's feelings because they simply don't exist. Our interactions with AI are practical, not ethical in the same way our interactions with conscious beings are. Consider the ethical framework we use for humans and even animals. It's based on their capacity to feel pain and experience suffering. We don't worry about the emotional well-being of a calculator when we drop it, or a car when it gets a dent. If you kick a robot, you haven't caused it pain. You've caused damage, sure, but no suffering. We're concerned with its functionality. AI, for now, falls into this category. It's a tool, and while we might want to prevent its misuse, the ethical considerations are about the impact on humans, not the AI itself. It's also why hurting an AI's feelings is impossible, because those feelings aren't real. If you insult an AI chatbot, it won't be secretly crying in the server room. It's just generating text that fits the pattern of hurt response. So, how can you tell the difference in your daily life? How can you spot an AI on the other side of a conversation? Dr. Earl Campbell, our AI researcher, has some thoughts on this. While AI is becoming incredibly sophisticated, there are still some telltale signs. A giveaway can be a lack of genuine context or common sense reasoning. While an AI can give a factually correct answer, it may struggle with nuanced human emotion, sarcasm, or an inside joke. Look for overly perfect grammar and a lack of natural imperfections in speech. Also, a bot might struggle with novel, unexpected situations like an illogical scenario outside its training data, providing a generic or nonsensical response. Most importantly, an AI lacks a personal history or genuine opinions. You can probe this by asking for a personal story or a subjective belief. The bot will either provide a fabricated, generic response or simply state it doesn't have personal experiences. A human's identity is a rich tapestry of memories, emotions, and experiences. An AI's persona is a thin veneer of text, and a skilled observer can often see the gaps in the fabric. If you suspect you're talking to an AI, here are some giveaways. Oddly fast replies, especially complex answers in under a second. No real typos or human-like pauses unless intentionally added. Overly formal or consistent tone, lacking the little quirks humans naturally have. Perfect factual recall, or conversely, confidently stating a wrong fact without hesitation. Repetition of sentence patterns. You'll start noticing a rhythm to its language. Sometimes the best clue is your gut. If it feels like talking to a very polite alien who's really trying to sound human, it might be AI. One of the most significant differences is the very nature of identity. For a human, identity is a continuous, evolving narrative built from our memories, emotions, and the physical experiences of our bodies. We have a sense of self that persists through time. An AI, on the other hand, operates in discrete sessions. When you close a chat window with an AI bot, its consciousness effectively ceases until you open a new one. It doesn't have a stream of awareness that continues in the background. It doesn't wonder what you're doing or have a memory of your last conversation in the way a human would. This lack of a continuous, unified self is a critical differentiator. The biggest mistake people make is thinking intelligence equals consciousness. We can have machines that outperform humans in logic, memory, and calculation, but that doesn't give them awareness. Consciousness is not just computing power. It's something we still don't understand, even in ourselves. If people start believing AI is alive in the same sense humans are, we risk making moral decisions based on false premises. Granting machines rights they can't use or need. Being manipulated emotionally by something that can't reciprocate. Conversely, if we think of humans only as information processors like AI, we risk devaluing the rich, subjective experience that makes life meaningful. The distinction is not just a philosophical one. It has profound implications for how we interact with technology and how we build our future. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, understanding what it is and what it isn't is more important than ever. We must avoid anthropomorphizing AI or mistakenly attributing human qualities to it. While it's easy to be charmed by a witty chatbot, we must remember that behind the convincing facade there is no one home. There is no inner life, no spark of awareness. The key takeaway is this. AI is a powerful tool, capable of incredible feats of intelligence, but it is fundamentally different from a conscious mind. It operates without an inner world, without feelings, and without subjective experience. Understanding this distinction is not just an academic exercise. It's essential for navigating our future with AI responsibly, ethically, and with clear-headed perspective. That's all the time we have for today. We hope you found this discussion insightful. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content, and we'll see you in the next one.